Chilekupu. Obugo Kerelu Kala. I na Torogo Mama. The Bendem Garangamugua. Obunde Shila Rapid Television. Abia Kamano Labum Paretoka. Kamano Labum I from Basaru Melala. Madashi Chilekupu, Jilwe Bia Lejuala. Nam sure Biarangamabia Bulem, Younger Lampu Apply Lazo. Oh, Bojila in the Janaba Tower. Oganoje lanani njiri luon nani oganala njiri da nabata we oganoje la ine ja nabata obia an mashi Chilekupu mpa biaruwa menye woje aga we toje tata mma
ise
ange toje tata udo
ise
ange toje tata ogalihi
ise
oge dara Abia State mma
ise
oge dara Nigeria mma
ise
na hanke nna na nke ọkpara na nke mmụọ nsọ. Amen.
As the sun rises, so do we rise from the east.
Ta 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 Igbo kwenu kwenu kwezoro.
Eastern Circle.
It's another beautiful morning for yet another interesting episode of Eastern Circle from our studio here in Umuahia. Hope you're maintaining steeze and composure because we are here as usual with the hot topics. My name is Adeze Egwin and I've got Michael here with me. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning to you. I'm coming to you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It's another beautiful episode of Eastern Circle right here on Rapid TV. Good morning and welcome. I hope you're having a good day already. But of course, your day can not be better than this. Of course, it's starting your day with Eastern Circle and by extension Rapid Dawn. So good morning and welcome once again. And talking about maintaining steez. One person who is maintaining steez, as all of us can see, is the one and only royalty.
Michael,
good morning to you.
You're not doing bad with this steez thing. You told me you are going to do it or you're doing it.
Oh,
so.
Well, I don't know what to say about that, but this is not about me today. It's you because I mean I'm loving the black and the tiny white combination. It makes you look thick in the eyes. Beautiful, I must say.
Okay, I'm blushing.
Okay, please do. And of course, you know, that even reminds me, like I saw you earlier this morning before we got up to the studio. I mean, I saw you and Joy in the studio dancing, having fun. Yeah. And it kind of reminds me because in a time like this where Nigerians are grappling with the economic situation and the protest, and the hardship and all of that, people still have ways of finding joy, like one way or another to you know feel happy, to make themselves happy, to make themselves feel okay. And I think music is one of those things that people really enjoy.
Exactly. And at a time like this, you don't have to kill yourself because no matter what happens, the problems are there. It's either you find a way to solve these problems or you find a way to live with the problems. Until the solution for the problems comes, we have to be happy.
Definitely.
Exactly.
And again, it's I think religion as well is another thing I think that people find comfort in. You know, we talk about Christianity, we go to church on a Sunday, you know, and for some people, it's more than just a ritual of going to church every Sunday. For some people, it's what rekindles hope. Like it makes them feel like, yeah, at the end of the day, because God exists, everything's going to be better eventually. So whether or not your side of the divide of religion is correct or not, but what it does for you, I believe, is what's more important. If it helps you get by, if it helps you get through the times, then of course it works for you. So you should keep up with it.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Do what makes you happy.
Do what makes you happy, because I believe at the end of the day, all of us in this economic situation, we all need some kind of getaway sometimes. I mean, Nigerians, we don't try. So we definitely need some sort of getaway.
I agree with you. You know, sometimes we used to say Nigerians find a way to survive in the midst of every problem. I agree with that, but it seems recently the problem is really getting to us as Nigerians. It's beginning to show on us. So everyone is trying to find a way to still carry on with the smiley faces, even in the face of struggles.
I just hope, really hope that we don't get to that boiling point. We don't get to where we say, I've had it up to here. I just hope we don't get to that point anytime soon right in the country. But, well, we will keep holding on and doing the best we can to keep the hope alive. All right, even if it's renewed hope agenda. Anyways, welcome to the show once again. We'll take you through to what we have for you this morning. So the presidency finally addresses Nigerians on the state of the nation. Long awaited, I must say. And then the Benue State receives second batch of medical equipment for all general hospitals. Of course, these are the hot topics for this morning. We'll take you through all of that and more shortly after the break. Good morning. Welcome. Stay with us.
As the sun rises, so do we rise from the east.
Ta 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 Igbo kwenu. Kwenu. Kwenu.
Eastern Circle.
Welcome back. You're still watching Eastern Circle on Rapid TV. And the first story this morning, the president yesterday finally addressed Nigerians as the protest hashtag End Bad Governance in Nigeria entered day 4. But the big question still remains, are Nigerians satisfied with the words of the president? The answer is found in the eyes of the protesters who continued even after the president's address in different parts of the country yesterday, the long-awaited address. And for me, Michael, I keep asking, do we have to wait till we lose lives before the government come out to address the people? Yes, nothing much happened here in the southeast, but in other parts of the country, there were cases of protesters being killed. Now he has sent out his condolence to those who lost their lives, and I keep asking, couldn't this be averted before it gets to this?
Actually, you know, when it comes, just like you mentioned, it's not supposed to be a case of long awaited. I mean, this protest has been planned for days and weeks and talked about, and then the presidency, maybe they didn't think it was serious stuff.
They didn't believe the people were actually going to
happen.
go with it.
So they stayed docile about it until day 1, day 2, and then day 3 and day 4. And finally he has to address it. But then talking about the address, basically, just like after the address, people still went back to the streets. All right. So because even when you hear from the people who spoke, they say clearly that the president, did not actually address the core issue behind the protest.
Exactly.
I mean, you sent out condolences. I mean, you talked about how people had lost their lives, and it shouldn't be. Definitely, it shouldn't be. But then you also went ahead to. It was more like a report card, really. You talked about the things that the government has done so far. This
without addressing the issue at hand.
These things that you said, they were already there in the open, and the people still went to protest in the first place. So there is a reason why the protest happened in the first place, and the president somehow did not go down that path to at least say, okay, fine, I've heard what you're saying. Yeah, yes, he said it's open for dialogue, all right? Maybe let's see how that goes on. But then the people, I believe, want to hear, all right, this is what the situation is. Give us ABC time frame, all right? And we are going to achieve C, D, and E. That way we can say, oh, we heard it from the president himself, and we're going to hold him accountable. Okay, we keep time and tab of the time and the events that, you know, will come and pass. So this is, I believe, what the people want to hear.
Exactly, I agree with you. You know, hearing it from the horse's mouth would actually give the people certain hope or believe that something would be done, even if it doesn't get done.
Exactly.
At least say it.
I don't think the people just want the presidency to just say something. It's beyond saying something. It's actually about what are you saying? What can we take away from what you're saying? Because believe me, it's a volatile situation. It's a volatile time in our country. It's a time where people, I mean, are grappling with the harsh economic realities everywhere. From the top to the bottom, people are feeling what's going on. So the people expect some level of empathy, all right, to actually feel like the people feel that we are together on this. And because you are there for the people, and because of the people, you are there because of the people, and you're there for the people as well. So everything that you're doing is supposed to be seen to reflect, that reality. Because I mean, just look at what's going on now. The budgets and the allocations and everything. You do realize that the supplementary budget of $2 billion also made provisions for a presidential yacht. All right? And then just recently, there's a 21 billion naira renovation of the VP's residence. All right? And it's a situation where people are crying. So this doesn't seem to show that you really care about what the people are going through.
Really concerned.
You're really concerned, because what should be more important right now, right, should be cutting cost of governance, right? Cutting cost of governance. There is even a provision for the presidency to change their vehicles to bulletproof, even the office of the first lady. So all of these things put together can get the people angry. So it's quite a lot going on right now, that the people do not just want to hear you say something, but we want to hear, okay, fine, this is what we are doing. When you say the people should make sacrifices, people should tighten their belts, what are you doing?
In power actually doing to actually help them?
What are you doing? Just last year alone, I think towards the end of last year, it was about 1.7 trillion naira that the state governments had spent on recurrent expenditure. I'm going to talk about recurrent expenditure. Those are not the things that really benefit the people. These are just cost of governance, payment of salaries, renovation, buying of cars, all of those things. They don't help the people. So why would all of that be spent? They are also borrowing to pay salaries of government officials and all of that. So the people, and I mean, it's crazy. But then I think I actually would say thank God for people like Governor of Kaduna State, Obasani, who actually had come out to say, since he took office, really, that his government had been at the forefront of cutting the cost of governance. All right. In fact, their salaries as government officials actually have been slashed by at least half. He doesn't have an official vehicle. The officials, the commissioners don't have official vehicles as well. And the people, he met with his cabinet and they agreed.
Michael, that is 1 out of 36 states that
That's
we have in the country.
that is exactly why we're talking about it, because it's something that needs to be commended. So he spoke with his cabinet and they agreed that, oh, the state is going through quite a lot, and for something to be done, sacrifices have to be made. So, and they all agreed to, let go of some part of, to the tune of 1 point something million naira, and now they were all sliced down to about 400 to 500,000 of what they are receiving. Now the rest of the other part of that is pushed into capital expenditure, which is then used to, better the lives of the people. Why can't everyone or every other government in this, in fact, from the top of the government, the federal, do something similar?
Michael, the president during his address has called for dialogue. If we continue to reel out these problems without us getting a solution to it, there's not going to be any change. So let's pray and wish that this dialogue happens. Probably during the dialogue, he will tell us his plans to actually tackle this problem that we're all talking about.
Oh, well, definitely. I think that is where we are right now. So we would just hope that maybe the protesters will finally get to say, okay, fine, let's get down to dialogue with the president, and then probably on the table, like you said, hopefully so, because at the end of the day, most of the things they mentioned, like removing import duties and allowing importation of rice and grain, millet, and all of those
something
things,
that we can actually grow in our country,
which is one of the problems we are facing, because it's not doing good to it's not doing our foreign reserves any good. Definitely it's not. Student loan, you mentioned student loan. Now, if you give student loan to go to school, all right, they don't have food to eat to at least improve the brain function. So what's the essence of the loan? And at the end of the day, how do they pay back the loans?
Exactly.
The parents don't have jobs.
They're not even sure of getting job after graduation. So how do they pay the loan that you're giving to them?
So you see, so it's a whole lot of conundrum that we've found ourselves in. So it's one thing leading to the other. We cannot overemphasize the issue of cause and effect. You don't jump into the other part. We start from the beginning of the problem to find solution. So if you say you are doing this, you are doing, yes, it's a good initiative. Even the renewed hope housing estates and all of that, these are good ideas, but you still need money to afford the houses, right? So there are fundamental issues that the government is not paying attention to. The government is not paying attention to that.
And
so
those
that is
fundamental
where
issues are why the people are on the streets. So once they start giving attention to them, I think there will be improvement and there will be change.
Definitely. All right, so we definitely move on to the next story we have for you this month. So the second batch of consignment of medical equipment procured by Ebonyi State government for all the general hospitals in the state arrived over the weekend. Now, recall that the first batch of the equipment came in on March 10th, 2024 and has since been distributed across the 13 local government areas of the state. So the second batch contains a lot of equipment for these different hospitals, the general hospitals in the 13 local government, up to the tune of 4,518 items. So the governor in a statement said that his administration is gradually actually bringing to reality all the plans in the People's Charter of Needs to make all general hospitals in the state effective. That's something. We talked about when the first batch arrived. Yeah, we spoke about that on the show here as well, and it's quite a beautiful gesture, if you ask me.
I agree with you. The government of Ebonyi State is out to make sure that their health sector is fully equipped, which will help everyone in that particular Ebonyi State. You've reeled out a lot of things that has been distributed from the first consignment to the second consignment. But my major concern about delivery of these things is how they're going to be put into proper use.
Yeah.
It's not about giving out these things to the general hospitals. It's about the quality of personnel in this hospital and how they're going to be using them. We all know our problems with the general hospitals and how the health personnel.
It's hardly seen as a personal.
I'm telling
because
you.
if you see it as your personal thing, I mean, the attitude will show in the way you handle whatever it is that comes around it.
Exactly. So they need quality personnel in those outfits to make sure they make good and proper use of these equipment that are being distributed to the different general hospitals. It's really, really commendable.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is now, this, we cannot forget about the fact that, first of all, this is a good initiative, all right? Now, the quality of people to execute the initiative, that's another kettle of fish altogether. But then the government should be seen to be doing something to improve the health, the overall quality of life of the people in the state. At Ebonyi State, for instance, I believe from what I can see, they are doing quite well in that regard. I mean, it was some months ago where they started the health insurance scheme, and over 100,000 of the citizens were registered under that scheme by the government. 4,000 of them were pregnant women, by the way. That, you know, I'm mentioning this because the last time we spoke about this, and I told you that we are not resting when it comes to, you know, when it comes to conception and having more babies in this country, and which is let me not say which is partly why we are where we are today. Yes, because the population is bloated. So the government is doing what they can, or what they are doing at the moment, but then considering the level of the number of people you have to do these things for, it means that you have to also double your hustle in that regard. That's definitely what it is. So they started the health insurance scheme, and they registered quite a number of them, and that alone is a lot of money that's been put into that initiative, and that's what we're talking about, capital investment as against recurrent expenditure. The same government, I think the wife of the governor has this initiative that I think is, what's it called now, Better Life for Rural Women, including internally displaced person, that saw her going around the local governments, and you know, it's a lot of that. The Market Women Education Initiative. So there's been a number of things
from
done.
The government.
So just like the governor said, his manifesto is called the People's Charter of Needs. So the needs of the people comes first.
Exactly, and we are actually saying that in the health sector and also in the agricultural sector.
Exactly.
Because you need to have your health to be able to go to the farm.
Yeah, so and you have to eat.
Exactly.
I mean,
both are working hand in hand.
Recently there was distribution of farm input, and then before that there was mechanized agricultural equipment
Ministry of Agriculture.
sent to the Ministry of Agriculture, which also are definitely, I will make sure I follow up. Seriously, I'm so interested to see what that ministry will do with all the stuff that was brought to them, all the equipment, all the materials.
The governor has already given them the instruction. Everybody in the ministry should get into the farm. You don't have to be in the Ministry of Agriculture if you don't have anything to do with farming. So you don't have to just come to work and sit on your decks and sign papers. Get working, get your hands dirty, produce something, and let's say, because those machines that are there are to be put into use. Just like you said, you don't have to pack them there for months, years without using them. The next thing
start
you
getting
need
bad.
Exactly.
Without being used. Interestingly, one of the things the president mentioned in his speech is the fact that he plans that the country would cultivate at least 10 million hectares of land within a short period of time. So I do hope that we get to see all of this happen, because it is possible.
It is.
Because if you as the federal government see it as in fact, if you call a state of emergency on the agricultural sector, for instance, that will make everyone who is supposed to be at the federal ministry, the state ministry of agriculture, all of them will get on their toes, because this is a target. The states have lands. They will provide the lands. You don't even need to beg them for that. All you need to do, okay, you provide the lands, we provide the resources, and then everyone gets to farm, produce what your place is known for. I mean, Ebonyi State, for instance, we talked about how much they are good with rice and yam, for instance. Goodness gracious. I mean, I've seen the picture of that description that you gave still lingers in my memory, and I hope to get to taste yam from Ebonyi State, for instance. Because I think right now the Yam Festival as well is coming up.
We're in the
It's
month
stepping,
of August,
gradually across the state,
it's time
nation.
for harvest, and
time
people
for
are going to be
harvest.
harvesting everything they have in their farm, like yam. So we're ready, and I hope, like we would always say, this is replicated in other states. If it's happening just in Ebonyi, we will have just but little. But if it happens in all the southeastern states, I know we would have bountiful harvest when the time comes.
And by extension, across the country.
Exactly.
I mean, I cannot commend Kaduna State enough, because the governor also mentioned that was the reason why the state people didn't really come out that morning, the first day of the protest, to get into the street, because they understand what the government of the state is doing to better their lives. So they're basically they understand that. So even when the protests happen, they know that this protest is for the general good of the nation. So it's not really that their own state government is not doing well. So imagine states across the federation tries to do something as they can from their own end to better the lives of people.
Exactly. To whom much is given, much
a lot more is expected, definitely.
So people are really expecting so much from the state government, from the federal government, and we are hopeful that something good is going to be done sooner than later. And that's the size of our package this morning on Eastern Circle. Like always, Michael, I can go ahead and wrap up.
Why you say that?
All right, we'll take you back to Abuja for the rest of Rapid Done. See you tomorrow, and please stay safe.
Good morning.
As the sun rises, so do we rise from the east.
Ta 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 Igbo kwenu. Kwenu. Kwesoro.
Eastern Circle.